What's up, journeyers? Happy Tuesday! I literally just splashed water all over my face. I love it. Happy Tuesday, everybody. So excited. I love Tuesdays. Tuesday live trainings are super fun, and they're going to be in the afternoons for the next few weeks because my daughter's home from daycare because we had COVID, and now I'm officially off isolation tomorrow, but she was negative, which is so good. Praise the Lord, so glad. However, she is home from daycare for another 2 weeks after tomorrow because she technically still has to quarantine because of exposure. So I have nap times to do things, and that's about it. So I'm excited. I'm excited for this one. I've been wanting to kind of talk about this for a little while, but I wanted to bring you guys some structure around how to know if you're financially ready to quit your 9 to 5, because it can get really easy to get caught up in numbers, and it can also get really easy to get caught up in hype. And so I think it's really important to look at everything really objectively and then combine that with how you're feeling and how excited you are and alignment that you've got going on in your business and work through it that way. And so the biggest thing here is I want you to think of your entrepreneur journey, your business that you're running, as a dock on a shoreline, and it is on this beautiful, incredible island, and this is like paradise, right? So your business is the paradise island, and your job currently, and I call it a 9 to 5, but I've never had a 9 to 5. Well, that's not true. I did for a little while. I worked 7 to 7, right? So I worked, at the hospital. So whatever your day job is the boat that you're on. Okay. So you're on a boat. It's your day job. And the whole goal here is to get yourself to the paradise island that is this entrepreneur life, the financial freedom, the things that it's bringing you, right? And so the problem is that people try to get their boat all the way to shore, docked, lines tied, anchored down fully into the dock on the Paradise Island before they jump off, right? Before they get off. And so, what I want to encourage you guys with, and what I'm going to give you steps for, is you don't have to pull the boat all the way into the dock. You just have to get close enough that you can jump off and swim to the island without dying. Right? Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about today. So if you're here, say hi. Let me know if you are wanting to quit your 9 to 5 soon. So the reason this came up for me also is because I'm kind of being forced into pulling away from hospital, but also I really want to. I want to pull away from working at the hospital. My husband is being deployed in a couple of weeks, and so I can't work 12-hour shifts while he's gone. I don't have the childcare for it. And so I'm going to be working. I have my mom coming into town to help me with 2 shifts, and that's it. I'm working 2 shifts for the next 3 months, and that is it. That's all I'm going to be able to do. And so this is where you start to look at your business and you go, okay, is this feasible? So I'm going to walk you through like what I've been looking at, the things that we've been doing to get ourselves ready for this, for me being able to pull away from our 9 to 5. So remember, your entrepreneur lifestyle, your financial freedom, your business is the paradise island, and your job is the boat. Okay. Instead of pulling the boat all the way up to the shore, it's okay if we pull the boat just close enough to be able to jump off and swim without dying, right? So what's the first thing that you need to do in order to be able to recognize that you are close enough to the shore? Well, the first thing you need to do is you need to know your baseline financially. How much money do you need to be able to function? That's it. What is your cash flow baseline? How much do you need to be able to keep the lights on, to be able to keep food on the table, to keep your kids happy and safe? What do you need at baseline to be able to function? That's step one. Once you know that, becomes a little bit easier to say, okay, where are we at? Because the truth is, most people working a 9 to 5 do not need 100% of the money that they are bringing in from their business or from their job, right? And so maybe you're bringing in $4,000, but you really only need 3,000, right? Maybe that extra 1,000 is money going into retirement, money going into savings. It's money, being spent on non-necessities, right? And so it's okay to say, you know what, our actual baseline is about here. This is what I'm bringing in, but our actual baseline is about here. Where's the beauty in that? Is that now you're a little closer to shore, right? You're a little closer to shore because you know what your baseline is. You can say, oh, okay, this is what I really need. So that's your first step, is where is the shore, right? What is the baseline? What does that really look like? And it's really interesting because this is also that first step of like, what's your baseline, is also what you do when money gets tight, right? You start looking at what do we need, what do we not need? Because everything's temporary, right? You're not talking about quitting your 9 to 5 and then having no money ever for the rest of your life, right? That's not the whole point. The whole point of this is quitting your 9 to 5 and stepping onto that paradise island, right? Stepping into your business, stepping into that financial freedom that you're wanting, right? And so you gotta get close enough. And if you have no business and you have no revenue, the island's not even on the horizon yet, right? So there is steps to take before you do this. But when money gets tight, you can also shift to that baseline where you go, okay, it's okay. This is temporary, right? This is where we're at right now. I did a video yesterday about this, that we're back to baseline. We're back to baseline for a couple of months, and it's no stress, right? Like, okay, so we're not going to be putting money into our Roth IRAs for the next 3 months, and it's okay. We're building the business, right? It's okay. Things are temporary. It's okay to temporarily make changes, because what you don't want to do is feel like that long-term, like saving and investing is your lifeline, right? It isn't. Is it important? Yes. Is it your lifeline? No. The second thing is something that I'm going to talk about in much more detail next week when I talk about irregular incomes, and how to deal with an irregular income. But it is to, before you jump off the boat, have a savings account that has at least 2, if not 3 months worth of that baseline in it. I call it the Hills and Valleys Fund. I'll talk about it later. This is separate from an emergency fund, or what I like to call Freedom Fund. Okay, this is separate. This is an account that is specifically designed to help you make sure that you meet your baseline expenses. That's it. Okay, so have money in a savings account. And then the third thing is to have realistic expectations and realistic projections for what's happening in your business. Most people, when they go, oh, if I quit my 9 to 5, I can double the number of hours that I'm working on my business. And they think that that means that their revenue is going to double. And it doesn't always. Now, for some people, doubling the hours that they are able to work in and on their business will triple, quadruple, or even quintuple their revenue, right? And for some people, doubling the hours will only bring it up by 50%. Okay, so you do need to have some realistic projections of what's actually going to happen in your business. I do not want you to quit your 9 to 5 thinking that if you just add 10 more hours or add 20 more hours, you're going to double your revenue. It doesn't always work like that. So have an actual plan. What are you going to do with the additional 20, 30, 40 hours? What are you going to spend that doing? Are you going to spend it doing advertising? Right? Are you going to spend it doing delivery? Are you going to spend it doing prospecting? What are you going to spend that time doing in order to bring in more revenue? And again, part of that, knowing that baseline, is saying, okay, this is my baseline. Where am I at with my business, and what are my realistic projections? How close am I to that baseline? And how long can we go, right, before it's a problem? Okay. When you start to see the numbers and then you go, okay, you know what? Like, we're actually fine. This is where we're at right now, is we're not contributing to retirement. We're not putting extra money into savings for sinking funds. We have money in there that'll sit there. We have an emergency fund that'll sit there. But we're not contributing anything extra. And we can do that for as long as we need to, which means all the pressure is off, right? All the pressure is off. It means every dime I bring in every dime I bring in from the business means that we get to put it towards those big financial goals like our investments. It means we get to put it towards saving for new things. It means we get to put it towards those big things. It means everything that I bring in is just icing on the cake because we've created a baseline and we've established our baseline. We've gotten into it. We have money in a savings account to help us adjust for the baseline. And I have realistic projections of what's actually going to come in my business. I do, right? So stepping back from the 9 to 5 becomes actually really easy because there's no fear involved. Now, if you look at your baseline and your baseline absolutely requires 90% of your income, and you're able to get some of that into a savings account, and you look at projections for your business and you're looking at maybe 40% of your income, right? You normally bring in 4,000 and you're only bringing in 1,800 in your business, right? That's when you have to go, am I close enough to the dock? Am I close enough to the dock that I could jump off and swim? And sometimes the answer is still no. So what can you do instead, right? If you're in a position where you're like, there's no way that I could jump off this dock and be okay, right? There's no way. What if you could do something smaller? For example, what we did is I went to a PRN part-time position. So I was able to add more time to my business without completely taking away income somewhere else. And that balanced it out, right? What else can we do that's going to pull us a little bit closer to the dock? Because that's all you really need. When you're looking to quit your 9 to 5, the goal, again, is not to get yourself all the way to the dock, onto the island, tied up, anchored down. The goal is to get yourself close enough that once you jump off, you don't drown swimming to the island, right? So think of other things. Be creative. What else could you do? Can you cut your hours back at work? Can you hire someone in your business to help you drum up more business, right? Can you hire somebody to help you do prospecting? Can you hire someone to help you do some of the other work so that you can do client delivery, right? What else can you do that allows you to get your boat a little bit closer to the shore and build up those projections in your business at the same time? What can you do? What can you sell? If you need, I have a client, Tracy, if you need to bring in $3,000 from your business, what do you need to sell to do that? How many of what thing do you need to sell to do that? And of all the things you sell, what are the easiest things to sell? What do you enjoy doing? What do you enjoy delivering? What do you enjoy selling? Choose those things. Choose the things that take less energy and less time, but bring in more revenue so that you can not only bring your boat a little bit closer to the dock, but also calm the waters a little bit so that the swim from the boat to the dock is easy. That makes sense? So your 3 major things: establish your baseline. What do you require? What do you require? What does that really look like? Cash flow, right? Number 2 is do have a savings account that has 2-ish times that baseline to help you adjust for your irregular months. We're going to talk about that in much more detail next week because we're going to talk about how to manage an irregular or inconsistent income. And then the third thing is have some realistic projections and expectations within your business. Not only what do you see happening, but what are you going to do with your extra time if you quit your 9 to 5? What kinds of things can you sell to hit your baseline within your business? What are those things? What does that really look like? Okay? Believe it or not, it is actually way easier than you think to take this leap. It is scary. It is really scary. I know people who have taken their leap when they were only at about 50% of their baseline because they were able to visualize and see the projections that were happening. They were able to say, you know what? Like, I know bookkeepers that are like, I have 3 people on my waiting list and I can't accommodate them because I'm working a 9 to 5. And so they quit their 9 to 5, they took on their 3 new clients, and boom, they were there. They were at their full-time income, they were done. It's just scary. Why? It's scary because it creates irregular and inconsistent income. It's scary being an entrepreneur. It's very scary. Having this baseline, having this plan, understanding your projections, knowing what this looks like, knowing what's need and how to create that, how to make that happen, right? If you need $3,000 baseline and you bring home about 50% of your revenue, then you need to bring in 6,000, right? So if you bring in 6,000 revenue and everything, all your packages are $1,000, you need to sell six. Get out there and sell six packages, right? Whatever it is, look at it individually. I need to bring in 6,000 revenue. All of my packages are worth $300. Okay, I need to sell 20. Figure it out, break it down. What does it need to look like to make it happen? The more you sit and just let fear get in the way, and the more you sit and just like look at numbers and think, well, I'm not bringing in the right amount or whatever, the more you will wait. The longer you wait, the harder it will be to take that step away, right? But if you can pull the boat just close enough to the dock that you can jump off and swim to your paradise without drowning and dying, then you know you're good, right? So it's all about just examining that. Put your baseline, get some money into an account so that you have that to account for those irregular months, and then look at projections in your business realistically. How can you make it happen? And then jump. And then jump. When you're close enough, you jump. And it's fun. And it's scary. And it's exciting. And I'll be here for you the whole way. All right? I love you guys. I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday. Like I said, next week we're going to talk about how to deal cash flow wise with irregular or inconsistent income, because it's scary, but there is a way to deal with it. So I will see you guys next week. I will see you in the group. Don't forget to celebrate all of your wins. Any day you can always celebrate. All right. As always, trust yourselves and enjoy the journey. Talk to you soon. See you in the group.